Hello, hello. Hope everyone's doing good. Just giving it a few more seconds for everything to get all fully set up, but we should be live here in just a couple of seconds. Hope everyone's having a good Monday so far. Hope everyone had a good weekend too. I know that it's been a wild Monday for all of us here at the office. It's been busy, so trying to play a little bit of catch up. But no, we're really excited to be doing the call. It looks like it's 1 o'clock now, so we can go ahead and get rolling. Really, me and Omar want to come on today and really talk about, Discord and why it's so important. I think Omar can attest that we probably get the same question probably 20 times a week is what is Discord? Why is Discord? Who is Discord? So for us today, we just wanted to take a few moments and really break down why we use it here, what's so important about it, why really we're putting in all the chips really on Discord. So really just want to take a few minutes to really share a lot of that. We're going to do a brief overview, talk about why we use this, show you some of the channels, show you some of the features. As far as the actual really in-depth training about learning all the different features, that's probably going to be a call for another day. We don't have that much time, unfortunately, but of course, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to either me or Omar. We'd be happy to help you. We're just really navigating and really doing a lot of the daily stuff, but we're going to give you a really, an overview today. So first, I want to go through the numbers though. That's always the best part, right? Everybody's favorite part. So let's go through the numbers really quickly, and then after that, I'm going to turn it over to Omar to talk a little bit here for us, and then I'll close it down. But let's go ahead and look at the numbers from last week. Everyone should be able to see this. So last week alone, again, all producers over 1,000 last week submit. And again, please continue to submit your numbers, and I'll show you where that's in Discord today. So in case you haven't been seeing it, but please continue to submit your numbers. Sometimes we don't get great data from the carriers. We want to recognize the work that you're doing, so please send that through. But starting off, we have Aaron Wilson here with 4 apps for a little over 1,000. We have Alec S, Nicholas M, Tyler H, Sandy, Micaiah here, Andre, and then now we're getting into the 2,000s. So we have Kath Truelove. I know that she's doing all kinds of busy stuff, especially with the estate planning. So it's nice to see you still sneaking in some apps here. We have Chrissy here, Taylor, Adina Decker, Cleo, awesome, Casey, Lisa, and then now getting into the 3,000s, Mr. Burge himself with $3,030.24 over 3 apps last week. We have David Fleming, Panda here, $3,492.24 over 4 apps. Now Vincenzo, he's a new director here at the office. He's kicking it up. He has a massive book of Medicare business, so he's rolling through that, helping clients out with final expense policies, med subs, all kinds of cool. He's all over the place. He's killing it. So super excited to see that. So $3,535.20 over 2 apps last week. Tom Payne, $3,904.80 over 4 apps. We have Barrett here with 4,375.80 over 3 apps. We have David with $4,451.52 over 3 apps. And then now breaking into the 5,000, we have Marissa here with $5,264.18 over 4 apps last week. So let's look at our top 5 here. So we're going to go to top 5. We have Janet Brush, awesome, 6,089 and 88 cents over 2 apps. And we've been working a lot with Janet and her team. She's got a lot of really exciting things moving. So really excited to see her. We have Robert Averett here with $7,536 even over 2 apps. We have Jermico, oof, big jump there to $9,477 over 10 apps last week. That's some work right there. The boss man himself, again, still don't know how he sneaks these in, but somehow he finds a way. Stephen Davies here, $17,877.58 over 6 apps. It's ridiculous. Then David Helgeson here, #1 last week alone, just a little bit more than Steven, $18,251.34 over 9 apps last week. So now let's go to the top 5 paychecks. Michael Guerra here with $3,294 even deposited into his bank account last week. And then Brandy, awesome. Brandy here in the office. I bet that's probably why she had a big smile on this morning on Monday. That makes sense. Brandy Blankenship here with $3,986.29. Way to go. Nick Greco here, $5,130.60. And then look at this jump to #2. David Helgeson got deposited $10,502.20 last week. And if you thought that was a lot, Marty still coming in with a little bit more. $13,885.06 deposited into his bank account last week alone. recruiting last week. So completed fast tracks. Rogers and Kim had one. The base shop here we had two. Contracts. Adam Burge there, alone here with a one contract. And then PLE. Rogers and Kim also had one in the base shop here. We had two. Again, with the recruiting, please again send that as well with your numbers. The recruiting is really the part where we really don't get much data at all. So if you can just continue to send that, that way we can really recognize you for the work that you're doing. And then lastly, here we look at Steven's travel schedule. October 6th, he's heading out to Detroit. Then October 17th through the 19th, of course, there'll be the National Boot Camp here in Burlington. So I'm sure a lot of you already be there. So definitely grab some time talking with Steven there. October 27th, heading out to Tampa, Florida, and then day right after heading over to San Diego. So down and then all the way over, heading out to San Diego to see Brian and a lot of the crew out there. So really exciting. So that's Steven's travel schedule. Feel free to take a picture. I'll post this in Discord as well so you have it. But that is our numbers. So again, really what I wanted to do is I want to turn it over to Omar. He's going to talk a lot about the importance of really some of the live calls and a lot of the cool areas we have for our agents to get support. So I'm gonna turn it over to you, and then whenever you're done, I'll close it down, my friend.
I appreciate you, Chan. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. I'm used to Discord, right? And your little box lights up when you talk. It doesn't work the same on Zoom. Okay, so first of all, thank you, Chan, for the numbers, man. I love seeing the numbers. My favorite slide is definitely the weekly paychecks. Like getting $13,000 in a week. Like a lot of people don't make that in like 3 months, right? To put that in their bank account, right? So it's crazy to see that. So some of what I'm talking about is going to be talking to you guys who might be new or new-ish, right? In order for these guys and gals to get those deposits they were getting on that slide that Chan went over, they had to start somewhere, right? They had to get equipped. They had to be pushed in the right direction. They had to know what to do and what not to do, right, to get there. So Discord is one of the most important tools. It probably is. It's probably the most important tool that we have here at the office, and it's because it helps us communicate in a way that we just couldn't before, right? I mean, I know WhatsApp is awesome. Like, I love a good group chat as much as the next guy, but like, it's hard when you're trying to do multiple things. You're building a team, right? Or you're part of a big team, and you're trying to get one-on-one time with your leader, or you're just trying to have like conversations with people. Sometimes you're getting messages you don't need to be getting. It can cause a distraction. But in Discord, it's a little bit of everything. It's the best of a group chat because you can get quick information, but also you can do calls, right? And that's where I come in. I do a lot of live calls every single day in Discord. We'll talk about that. But the most important reason why you should be around, if you're not, we'll start with the obvious one. That's the training piece, right? We do dial jams every day. I'm in the one in the morning every single day, no matter what. I'm usually in the afternoon one as well. So the dial jam at 9 a.m. the Eastern kicks off. We do it for an hour, and then we do another one in the afternoon, 3 p.m. If I don't have a pre-scheduled meeting or a one-on-one with an agent, I'll be there as well. And the value of that is just being able to, especially when you're new, being able to soak up information that to questions you may not even know to ask yet. Like you don't know what you don't know, right? And don't get me wrong, like when you're getting onboarded, when we start people here, a lot of people get stuck shortly after that because they don't really know what to do. And it's not a bad thing, just kind of is what it is. We have a lot of stuff going on here at the Alliance. And so you've got the Monday message, right? Then you got the Wednesday call. Then you got the Thursday call. Then you got the activity call on Friday, right? And you got boot camps sprinkled in throughout there. We got all the calls. So sometimes it's easy to lose direction as a new person, right? Like I just got my carrier contracts. Chan just got me contracted last week. I don't know what to do, right? There's a lot of gaps you got to fill. So that's where we can do that in the Discord. And part of that is with the dial jams, just listening to people do dials and run appointments, make mistakes. That's important. All those people you saw on the leaderboard, like it wasn't 10 apps of yes, right? They didn't just talk to 10 people last week. They talked to a lot of people. And you can get a lot more instruction from, I think, making mistakes, right? Than you can from people saying yes. So in the Dial Jam, you get all of that. So you can pick up all those things. Now the Ask Omar, that's a little more all-encompassing. It's just a question and answer. session I do every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern. And I budget out 30 minutes for it, but it's not unusual for it to go an hour and 30 minutes a couple times a week. Just because it's an open forum. We talk about everything, right? If you're struggling with what to do with contracting, right? That's more chance thing, and I will ask him what the answer is and then tell you guys what it is. Everything from what carriers you need to be appointed with, how to do that. Um, Clients, right? You run into a difficult client, you don't know how to game plan for them. Like, how do we put together a plan? How do I talk to them about IULs? Right? I'm gonna do my first annuity. I think I got somebody. Like, what do I need to do? What do I need to get to make sure I can actually help these people? Right? Like that's what those Q&A sessions are for. And even if you don't have any questions, just like the Dial Jam, you can get value from just being there and just soaking it up. So make sure you're doing that. And so what I'm speaking to overall is structure. That's the big thing that you get, right? Especially as a new person, right? We all, when we have regular jobs, like we know when we're supposed to be at the office, we know when we go home, we know when our lunch break is. But when we become independent contractors and we run our own businesses, a lot of people struggle with that structure part. So just having a place to go, like the Discord, where you know there's people doing dials every morning and every afternoon. You know there's going to be a session in the middle of the day where you can get your random questions answered that you didn't even know you had, right? It starts to slowly create a schedule that we can then hold you accountable for, right? It's like going to the gym. Like getting up and going to the gym by yourself, very difficult sometimes, right? But if you got a workout partner that's expecting you to be there, they're expecting to see you there, puts a little more pressure, right? That's good peer pressure is what we call that. And I definitely use it. I'm not above using it, right? If I see you on the Dow Gym on Monday and I don't see you again until Thursday, I'm like, hey, 48 hours passed. What's up? What's going on? I haven't seen you in a while, right? And we create that. It's good camaraderie, but it is pressure, right? Because I know if I get into someone's calendar and just keep them around, I'm gonna get them where they want to be too, faster. That's one mistake I see agents make a lot. They just kind of do their own thing and they're just spinning their wheels out there. They went to the Alliance University and we haven't seen them since, right? They get lost. Love Gina's videos. They're awesome, but it can be overwhelming for a new person. So they need that structure. And last but not least, clarity, right? That's really what we're talking about here. So if I got structure, I have training, I know what to do. Now it's just, are you doing the right things consistently? Right? Like if you're screwing something up on your intro or you're quoting seven different carriers like for one client, and I can hear that on the dial jam, like we can address that right then and right there. Right? Don't do that. Say it like this. Don't say it like that. Right? And so when new agents have that clarity and they can show up and they know they can get their questions answered, they can listen to some good training and have a lot of access too, frankly. Like I budget a significant chunk of my week dedicated solely to these live calls so we can catch those things early if they're problems and we can correct course if need be. So that's the biggest thing for me is just like driving, right? Just constant correction, right? So that's what the Discord is, and that's what these live calls are, I think. And I feel like any of the guys and girls that are on there regularly would probably speak to that if you ask them, right? They learn so much from, first of all, doing the work, doing calls, running appointments, but also just listening to other people. And another thing, real quick, Jim, that Steven said it was cool at the last staff meeting to bring back. I used to spend a lot of time breaking down calls, and I still do that. I still do that with the system that we use here. But Steven gave me permission to do that again some on the dial jams, right? And I think that's incredibly helpful personally, right? Just hearing an actual call that someone did and then hearing me go through and like, okay, this is good. This is exactly what they're supposed to be doing. This is why this portion of the script is so important right here. Or we slipped up a little bit. That's okay. This is why that didn't work out. And be able to speak specifically to those things. So we're going to be doing a lot more of that. And even if you've been around for a while and you're doing well, it's never bad to come in and get a little tune up, right? And if you're writing business every single week and you're doing your thing, nothing wrong with coming in and getting a tune up. As we always hear people say, either you need the meeting or the meeting needs you, right? It doesn't just need to be me up here like talking to agents. I would love to have some more veteran people come on and give their insights. You know, someone who just wrote $10,000 or got $10,000 deposited into their bank account, right? Like you got some pretty good leverage there for people to listen to the things that you're saying, right? So I would welcome that as well. But I hope that was helpful, guys, as far as my portion of it. Now Chan's going to kind of walk you guys through some more of the in and outs of the channels and where you can go to find these things that we're talking about. And I hope to see you guys there.
No, thank you, Omar. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, honestly, guys, really, the main point, Omar and I are really trying to stress is really the purpose, I guess, the value of why Discord is so important, right? Because, from a day-to-day standpoint, when we're all working here, I mean, for the most part, I would say we're all remote, right? We're all working from home. We're all, like Omar said, building our own businesses. We're independent contractors. And so, the point that he stressed about how, coming from maybe a 9 to 5 or some other type of job, right? There's that structure already pre-built. So you come in for the day and then you know what you need to be doing, you're good, right? But when you have a 1099 and now you're opening the floodgates, right? You have all this control, right? The structure is the portion that really helps an agent thrive. And so that's why we wanted to create Discord. We wanted to create a way where you could have that structure. And so instead of having all these different email chains or having 7 other group chats and then having 20 Zoom meetings, instead of trying to do all of those different things, we wanted to combine it into one platform that everyone can be on, everyone can use, everyone can get support, all at the same time, right? And just also utilizing the experience of so many other advisors, right? All these other agents who have been in the business for 10, 20 years now, who can help provide some answers to questions that, like Omar said, if you're brand new, you're coming to this trying to figure out what do I need to do? Right, you can have a way to really communicate with those leaders who oftentimes might have been too busy to maybe hop on to a dedicated Zoom call or something like that. Instead, you can get them all here in one platform. So, well, what I'm briefly going to do is I'm going to show you basically some of the main categories and channels we have. So, if you already have Discord, let's say you're already signed to our server, I'd say go ahead and pop it open and just kind of follow along with me. Because really what I'm doing is I'm just give you a brief overview and kind of show you where the channels are and what to do in each of those channels. And then again, for the day-to-day standpoint of knowing how to exactly operate Discord, that's probably going to be a call for another day. So just feel free to reach out to me directly and I can always help out with that. And we can schedule Zoom call and I can help really show you the behind the scenes, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen here and I'm gonna show you the server so you guys should know exactly, what this looks like. So I'm showing it here from really where you would start off, right? Which is the server guide, right? So I'm sure you all remember this when you joined in. Here just kind of gives you a few little steps you can do to kind of honestly just get a little more comfortable, right? So saying hello to the team, visiting the orientation channel, visiting the agent, support channel, all of that. That's all pretty self-explanatory, right? So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to direct you over here to the left-hand side. So first and foremost, if you're ever wondering what times we have any of our live calls here built into Discord that Omar is talking about, the Ask Omar sessions, the dial jams, the trainings that we have throughout the week. Here, if you click on events, this will actually pull open all of the different events here. So you'll see the morning dial jams, you'll see the times that it's going to be available. You'll see the Ask Omar sessions, the afternoon dial jams, the evening dial jams, Thursday live classes, the study groups. You can really just see all that in one place. So it's kind of like here's like your little calendar, right? So you know exactly when the calls are and where to be. Now, the nice thing, as you can actually see here on the left-hand side, you actually see at the top, if there's ever a live call going on, it'll actually pop up here in your top left. So all you'll have to do is actually just click, well, right now it says listen in. I'm not going to click it, but you can click here and actually take you right into the call so you can listen in, or you can turn on your video if you wanted, and you can actually communicate, through the live call. So if there's any live calls ever going on, you'll actually see that here directly on the top left, which is really nice. So that'll make it easy for you to really see where you need to be. But if we go down here on the left-hand side, here's the actual channels themselves. And so the easiest way I could describe each of these channels is it's like where we're in a huge neighborhood, right? And then each of these are like the streets within the neighborhood, right? Or little divisions spread out. So you can see here in the welcome. I mean, this is just basic rules, right? Just don't do anything crazy, or me and Adam or Omar will ban you. No, I'm just kidding. No, but just don't say anything crazy, and that's it. The orientation channel, right? This just kind of gets you oriented. You'll see you have our weekly schedule. There is a getting started guide. So if you are brand new to Discord and you're like, what the heck is this? That will help give you a little bit of a better idea of really how to use it on the day-to-day side. And then just a basic channel guide here showing you some of the channels. But the orientation channel you'll see more when you join. But really the more important stuff here is underneath text channels here. So general. Think of this as just your general everyday communication, right? As a team here, we're pretty cool, so we like to send a lot of gifts, so you'll see a lot of that. But no, this is just where we communicate together all as one. So this is where we share our wins, share things we're trying, share things, that maybe we found that's really helping us in our business. Sharing those things. We're all working here together as a family, as a team. We want to help each other succeed, as we also succeed ourselves. So share, the things that are going on in your business, videos. See Steven himself, he posts some videos here as well. So just really utilize the general channel as just like a main way to communicate with everybody. And again, we have, over, 400, agents nationwide here on this. So there's lots of activity going on. The announcements channel, right? Sounds exactly like what it is, right? This is where you'll see announcements for live calls or anything new or anything exciting that's going on. So like for the Monday messages, I'm sure you guys have seen these come through, right? Telling you exactly where the call is going to be in the link. So the announcements channel is just going to be for broadcasted announcements that everybody needs. Now we get to the agent support channel. So if you're a brand new agent, you're going to be using this a lot. So make sure you really pay attention here. The agent support, this is the quickest and easiest way to get a hold of somebody if you need help. So if you're an agent and let's say you're helping a client right now, and they hit you with a question, they hit you with a medication, or they hit you with a curveball you were not expecting, and you need help. You're trying to figure out where to go. What do I do? Here you can actually, message and ask that question that you may have, and it'll go to every single agent that we have here and all of the staff here at our office. So somebody like Omar can pop on and respond and say, hey, go with this carrier with this product. Or somebody like Adam Burge, if it's an IUL question, right? Adam Burge, I mean, you see the numbers. He's incredible with IULs. He could pop on and answer those IUL questions that you have and help you through your case. Or, if it's a coaching thing, if you need help coaching, or if you're anything with building your business, right? Somebody like Steven could pop on, right? Steven could pop on and he can answer those questions as well. So again, the idea is you can get access to any one of these people who are active in the industry, who are doing big things in the industry. You can get access to them at any point. And it's not going to get lost, right? Again, it's all organized into different channels on purpose. So if you need help, right, think of agent support as your emergency hotline, right? You need help, you need an answer right now. That's exactly what that's for. Academy support here is for if you have any questions. This is more where I'll kind of help out. If you have any questions while you're going through any of our training programs, when you think about our onboarding classes, or if you think about anything to do with our remote agent training that we have available, any questions you have, if you're dealing with any issues, this is really where you can reach out here and get a hold of me immediately. And then that way I can really help in the best way possible. Sales resources, this is where we actually drop information about new product lines, new things that are changing. We'll actually see Steven and Jermico and some of these other leaders here dropping sales tips. So if you're a new agent and you're trying to figure out, new ways to do things in your business, or you're, again, just figuring it out, we'll actually see a lot of sales tips here that you're able to really take part of, and just get extra training, right? Again, that's what Omar was hounding on, just extra training that you wouldn't usually be getting, but now it's accessible to you, ready whenever you need it. Submit ticket here. Pretty straightforward. You can actually create a ticket. So if you need support, if you need help, this actually goes to all of us here as a staff, so we can help you. So, this is probably something that's maybe not as emergent, right? If it's emergency, again, go back to agent support, or reach out to any of us directly. But from just maybe I have a question, or, this is something that needs to be fixed. If you can help me out, if it's a contracting issue, you can create a ticket here. And again, that'll get sent directly to all of us here as a staff, and then we can help you directly from there. So again, just another way to get access to help or support, especially if you have those questions that you don't really know where to go from. And then now the live calls. So again, this is the exciting part that Omar was talking about here. So as you see, the live calls here, we have them broken up into a few calls that happen throughout the week. So starting off with the Thursday live class, for those of you who have gone through our remote agent training, this is actually included into the training process. This isn't a call that you have to join every single week. This is actually really only for recent graduates of our academy program. So if you've been to it before, if you've already gone through the Thursday live class, you don't have to do it again. This is really only, again, for newer people who are going through the training process, and they actually get to spend, time working with Omar, preparing, getting ready to really start dialing and setting appointments. So that's really what that meeting is for. So if you see that one pop on live, again, you don't have to pop into that one. That's really only again for recent graduates. The dial jams, so any of the dial jams we have, the morning, the afternoon, or the evenings, that'll all be done here, ready for you to join, right here underneath the dial jam. And again, you see in the top left how it's already popping up telling you that there's something, a live call going on. So again, it'll make it really easy for you. And if you have notifications turned on, it'll notify you anytime these dial jams go on. But we have a schedule, so it's really easy to know when and where you need to be if you want to be on those dial jams. So very easily you can just click and join. Again, I'm not going to do it right now because then we're going to join a live call, and that's a whole back and forth thing on Zoom. And then, yeah, you get it. Anyways, so again, all of the live dial jams will be hosted here that you can join in on. The Ask Omar sessions, my favorite, way to describe this is actually a way that Stephen brought out to us. It's kind of like back in high school or back in college, if you remember open office hours, right? So you can go to your professor and you can say, "Hey, you said this earlier in this class. I don't know what the heck that meant. Can you explain it to me more?" And they can help you work through problems. You really provide that mentorship, right? Really provide the extra coaching. That's exactly what that is. We recreated that where Omar will pop on. And again, there's a schedule available for it. So it's once a day where you'll be able to hop on and answer any questions you have. If it's contracting, if it's products, if it's objections, if it's in the sales process, any questions you have ready, or if you need help with anything, you can hop on the Ask Omar and ask him directly. And also too, like he mentioned, even if you don't have a question, just hop on because it'll probably end up turning into another training on a specific subject that you could then benefit from. Maybe somebody asked about an objection and then you could take notes there. And then, maybe the next hour when you're dialing, you run into that objection and now you have that training. So utilize that as much as you can for answering any of those other questions you have. And I hope you can kind of see that there's several ways you can get help and, through the agent support, submit a ticket, Ask Omar's. And really, again, that all just speaks to we want to help you. We want to help you and grow your business. So please utilize this platform. I don't know how to make it any easier. We want you guys to be a part of this, be a part of the community, and really, really communicate together as a team. And then lastly, the PLE study group. This is actually something new that we brought in, and this is something that Brandy here at our office leads. It's every Friday. So any of you who are newer students going through your licensing program and you're opening up those first few chapters, you're ready to pull your hair out, right? And you have some questions, you can actually pop on and we have a study group that meets, where you can ask questions, you can talk to Brandy, other students, share your experiences if you need help with anything. Again, more support, right? We're offering lots of support here, for you to utilize. So that's where that will be. And then I mentioned on the numbers. So lastly here, our weekly numbers. If you click on it, this is where you can submit your weekly numbers for the week. And again, the numbers run from Friday to Thursday. So on Thursday, this actually automatically gets sent out. And all you simply have to do is just click the link here if you want to put in your numbers for submitted business. And then here you can click this link to put in your recruiting numbers. Super easy, super straightforward. Again, all done here directly in Discord. It'll pop up in the link, you fill it all out and submit it to us, and then we'll put it on the weekly numbers. So yeah, I think that's about, the time. Again, I don't want to dive too much in detail because if not, we'll be here for a little while. But really the main thing here is we wanted to show you how important this is to us, really show the time and the dedication we've put into building this out. Really just to help with the support, give you several ways to get access to additional training to any of us here that can help you. So if you have any questions or if you need any help, please feel free to reach out to any of us here as a staff. We are more than happy to help you. We are online Discord 9 to 5 and even after hours. We all have it on our phones, so we're always happy to help any way that we can. So if you have any questions, let me know. But I really hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you guys have a great week. Enjoy the week. Have a great afternoon. We're going to be launching the Dial Jam here pretty soon, so hopefully I'll see you there. But I really enjoyed getting a chance to explain all this to you guys. So I appreciate you listening and hearing me blabber on for a while. But I hope you have a great rest of your day. And what does Steven say? Let's get out and let's get after it.